a lot of people worry about traveling with kids, but in our experience, the thought is far worse than the reality of it.
Yeah, especially me. Most children go off to kids' clubs.
Not ours.
Not ours.
I don't think anything can prepare you for that first family holiday that you go away on and you quickly realise this is not a holiday.
Can the pilot not just fly around for a little bit more?
Just leave it. You can hold on to your own snacks. That's your lot for the whole flight. Yeah.
Giving away all my secrets here.
For the average family, like it's really hard to afford holidays in school holidays.
Yeah. And then we have to talk about the most important part of any holiday and something you've come to rely on. That's me.
Indeed.
Airport dad.
Hi guys, I'm Emily.
And I'm Matt.
And welcome back to our podcast, What They Don't Tell You.
But we will.
Yes, and today we're talking about what they don't tell you about traveling with kids.
Yeah, they should have told us.
Yes.
Someone should have told us.
What we wish we had known
before
we travelled with kids.
Don't have free.
No, you can't
Oh,
keep
not the cost of holiday.
that.
Sorry, yeah.
But we have travelled a lot with our children.
Yeah, we're very lucky.
Yeah, we've always really prioritised it. Even when we were a couple.
Yeah.
We loved a holiday.
To travel.
And yeah, it's a huge bill of ours, for sure.
We won't look back, though, and be like, oh, we shouldn't have gone on that holiday.
No.
The odd hotel, you're like, oh, could have gone to a better one, but...
Yeah. It gives you a chance to reconnect as a family.
Yeah.
And to show them somewhere new.
Yeah.
I actually never... I think I never left North America until I moved to England.
Yeah.
Like we would... In Canada, like people have cottages. They go for the weekend to the cottage, or we'd sometimes drive to America.
Yeah.
We'd go to like South Carolina, North Carolina, had been to LA and things.
Now you can drive to
when you
South
live in
End.
Europe, you can just pop over to Spain, pop over to France.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing. So we have been to quite a few places and we have learnt a lot.
Yeah.
Because it is not for the faint-hearted, is it? And I
Does get better, though.
It does get better.
Yeah.
But this is a topic that I get so many DMs about, so many questions. And if I make a travel hacks video or a flying with young kids video on YouTube, they do so well in terms of views because, you know, all of us want it to go smoothly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
I
it
think
hasn't always.
For the majority of the time, it does go smoothly unless someone's ill.
Yeah, that's the factor, and one you can't really avoid.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been quite lucky.
Yeah, no, we've been really
honest.
lucky. And actually, a lot of people worry about traveling with kids, but in our experience, the thought is far worse than the reality of it.
Yeah, especially me.
Yeah, if you prep for it and you try and make it fun, it's actually, the kids love it.
Yeah. I mean,
really
obviously
do.
the kids are a bit older now, but they've always kind of enjoyed it. And it's almost, for myself, I always felt like the if you're flying, is part of the holiday.
Yeah.
But
The
even if you're road
airport's
tripping, do you know
exciting.
what I mean? Like, I feel like you prepare for that, don't you? You don't just like pack your stuff and then expect to be there. You always know that's called travel, right? You're going somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're going to share our top tips and what we wish we had really known.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first thing that we wish we'd known was to not fly with babies.
No.
No, obviously flying with babies, that has to be the toughest part, definitely of travelling with a family, but potentially of being a parent if you decide to do it, because it's one of those situations you're just stuck as well. If things aren't going well, you can't be like, oh, let's not bother. No, you're on a plane over the Atlantic. Like, you can't just stop.
I think traveling with toddlers is worse though.
Yeah.
Because a baby, like you're just holding them.
They didn't really sleep,
They pretty much just cry for milk or their ears or, you know.
I always found
toddler is running.
when you got on a plane with toddlers or even a baby, I'd just apologise straight away to people that are sat near us. Yeah, I'd just be like, oh sorry, so English, I'm sorry, so that they expect the worst. And then anything else is a bonus.
Yeah, no, we've had like maybe some of the kids like kicking the seat in front.
Yeah, which I'm still really conscious of. So I now pick seats so that the kids sit behind us, because they don't do it on purpose. Often it's just where their feet are or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
and
they're not thinking.
Our youngest is 8. Do you know what I mean? It's where his feet are, and like he's not doing it on purpose.
No.
So it's us they're kicking. So
yeah,
brilliant. Ruin our flight. It's the things you do as a parent, right?
I do sometimes think people forget that it's quite hard to travel with kids, or it can be quite difficult
or they've
to travel.
not had children,
or they've not had children. But even if you haven't had children, you were a child yourself. Like,
you don't
have
remember
some
that.
sympathy.
Yeah.
I remember we were walking on the plane once and we had 3 kids, probably all 7 and under.
Yeah.
And as you're walking on, you can see people looking at you thinking, no, please not here.
But then I always remember we flew earlier with Fraser, but then the first trip we did with him as a toddler, we had to go to Las Vegas because my sister was getting married there. And I remember when she said, I'm getting married in Vegas. And I was just like, and she gave us like a year's notice. I was like, well, he's going to be like 18 months. I was like, even then I knew like that's not a good age to travel like 2 hours, let alone 13 hours.
Yeah.
And obviously we were the first people to ever have a toddler on a plane.
Yeah.
It was hard.
It was hard. I mean, luckily we only had the one to worry about. But yeah, it was a long old flight, and he was at that age, that back-breaking age, I call it, where they're walking everywhere, but not that well. So you're kind of hanging on to them. We were up and down the aisles, and we randomly had a stewardess who wasn't very sympathetic.
No, she didn't want him walking up and down, did she?
She must have not had children. She didn't want him in the aisles. I remember we had one of those front seats, you know, with the extra leg room.
Yeah.
Purposely so we could give him some space. So I like laid out a blanket, put some toys, just so he could sit somewhere that was not on me for
because we didn't pay. Obviously, that was when you got him. He was free,
he was
right?
Free.
Yeah,
and you book that bit like where you get the bassinet, whatever.
Yeah.
So I set him all up on the floor with some toys. You know, he wasn't making any. He wasn't moaning. He was just playing. And she came over and she said, he can't be on the floor. And I was like, well, he's going to be on the floor. Like, sometimes I think you do have to stick up for yourself. There was no turbulence.
Well, like, you like to think,
nothing.
She's just doing her job. And you think, like, it's not her fault. But then, like, I've been on so many planes since, and, like, you just get really nice staff and they haven't got a problem with a kid walking up and down. It was like she just clearly had a problem with him being a baby.
Yeah. And there wasn't, like, there was no seatbelt signs. There was no, there was no issues.
Oh, that's the hardest though, isn't it? When you have a baby asleep on you and then they put the seatbelt signs on, you're like, and I get it.
Asleep in the bassinet, and then like you have to take them out.
Yeah.
And you have to hold them.
Can the pilot not just fly around for a little bit more?
Just leave it. Because then a minute later, you wake them up and think, seatbelt sign goes back off. And you're like,
you get it. Like, you come into land, it's like health and safety. But it's just like, as a parent, you don't get it. You're just like, no, it's my child. Like, I just want them to sleep. We're going to feel the wrath of this.
But you don't understand how hard it was to get him to sleep.
Yeah.
But I think baby wearing is amazing on a plane.
I don't really notice young kids on a plane now. When, you hear kids cry and stuff, and you think, so I feel like we're always going to be travellers that are sympathetic towards people with young families.
Yeah, and I think often they're only crying because their ear's hurting or, they're not well.
Yeah.
That's when it all goes a little bit wrong. But a few things that we did bring on the plane that were just life-changing was we had this blow-up footrest kind of thing, which turned the airplane seat into a bed.
Yeah.
So when they are like 2 or 3 or even younger, it's like they've got a first class seat.
Yeah.
They've got the seat.
But
bed. We had one where you actually had to blow it up, which was actually a bit annoying. But now you can get these hammocks.
Right.
So it's on the seat and then it just attaches to the seat in front, but it kind of creates this little hammock bed, which is so much easier to take down. And I think if I had, and also to roll up, just have it in your bag.
Yeah.
If we had babies now, I would definitely get one of those. Because
there was the blow up thing. There was all these things about some airlines. We never had it. We always allowed it. But I now see stuff about, you can't have that on these airlines and stuff.
So you can only do, I think, on a window seat. So it's out of the way.
Yeah, it's health and safety.
But I used kind of, just in case someone said take it down, I'd sort of blow it up and like not make too much of a thing of it, put it there and then cover it in a blanket. So they didn't really see it.
Yeah.
And just prepping the carry-on, like packing them lots of things to keep them entertained. Obviously
probably more important than the luggage, isn't it? Their carry-on, even now.
Like in their carry-on, I always remember packing like an empty water bottle.
Yeah.
Because you get on a plane and then they come around with the drinks and they just give you like the most open cup.
Oh my God. Like a potentially turbulent vehicle.
Yeah, they give it to a child on the tiniest little tray, and within seconds, like someone's going to knock it over.
Yeah, they're like, you got the tray and they're like passing it to the child like that with the cup on. You're like, what are you expecting this child to do?
This is never going to go well. So I think an empty water bottle is great, because then as soon as you get a drink from them, say if they get apple juice or something, you just put it into the water bottle, or you just fill it with water once you're through.
Yeah.
And then they've got that. It's all sealed. Like, you're not going to have to use your spare clothes immediately. And I also loved bringing things like pens on a string.
Yeah.
Because they love coloring. But within like a second, they'd lose all the pen tops. So you can get pens on a string on Amazon. They were
like
great.
10 pens, isn't it, on one string? Like,
yeah, all the lids are on the string.
But you always had that in your handbag, didn't you? Not just for travel. Like, if we went for a pizza or something, you'd always have that. Just because the pens are always rubbish in the restaurants, aren't they, and stuff. So you'd always have.
Yeah, it was always like handy. But before we would go on a long flight, I mean, if it's just a short flight, it wasn't such a worry. But if we were about to do a long flight, I would go to a shop like, say, The Works or Poundland.
Yeah.
And I would almost get them like a new little toy per hour.
Yeah.
Because I think, once they're done with that, what about this?
This is just for me.
Yeah, and I've seen some mums, they gift wrap them. Yeah. Because like even the unwrapping them,
it's something. Yeah,
it takes some time and it's super exciting. But just little things like, I don't know, a bit of Lego, a bit of slime, the pens on a string. You can get great
When you think about
books.
what we had, like as kids, like
yeah.
that you just had. I think I used to have a board, and it was like an I Spy basically, and it was just like 20 things that I had to.
Yeah,
that was a
really
marker
good.
board, which is actually really good. We've done something similar for the kids, but that was all we ever had, and then a comic.
Yeah, you can get great ones of that on Pinterest. So when we went on a road trip, I just went onto Pinterest like road trip bingo. Yeah, and you just print it out, and then they're looking for a cow, they're looking for a traffic light, they're looking for all these things.
Often they're American though, aren't they? And they're looking for like a subway station.
Yeah, they're looking for something random.
Yeah.
But they are really good. And then like someone gets bingo.
Yeah.
So all of that was all
that's probably the biggest tip and most important thing is snacks.
Snacks, yeah.
Even now though, we still have to, because we've got an allergy. We've got a son with an allergy, our eldest. So we don't let him eat anything.
Yeah, we're a bit wary of plain food because we've heard some horror stories.
Yeah.
So we always try to pack like all of his meals and snacks just in case. Yeah. I mean, they don't love plain food anyway.
No, but we sometimes plan plain times around, when would he eat?
Less.
He won't need to. So a night flight is good because he wouldn't have to eat usually. He'd usually have dinner here or at the airport. There's all those things to consider.
Yeah.
But yeah, snacks. I mean, remember you used to do what was those trays you bought? What are they called? Like the fisherman's tackle box.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we flew very long haul to LA, I bought those like tackle boxes and filled it with snacks.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Once you decant snacks from packaging,
they were quite a lot.
They come up really small. So it all fit into the tackle box. And they were super excited about it. I put their names on it.
But there was all loads of healthy stuff in there as well. It wasn't just all like, there was a few sweets, but it was like
grapes and crackers.
Yeah, but
bits like that. And I felt like super mum because they just pulled them out of their carry-ons. They were sat on their tray. And like some of the air stewardess or people were walking past going, oh, look at them.
Yeah.
Like, that looks good.
It was like and subscribe.
Yeah. No, but they love it. Or what we do now that they're bigger is each boy gets a big Ziploc bag, and they get one crisps, one Barney Bear, one apple,
they've got their
one
own
orange.
bag, right?
Yeah, and that goes in their carry-on because otherwise, I just found on a plane it was like, Mum,
just a hand,
Mum, can I have a snack? Can I have a snack? Can I have a snack?
I mean,
and I was like, actually, you can hold on to your own snacks. That's your lot for the whole flight. Fill your boots.
Yeah, but then because of it, they just smash all the sweet stuff first. No, but like, you've had your lot. That's fine. You can't have no more. So that's up to you.
Yeah, that's got to last you the however long we're on here. And then it's their responsibility.
And then we have to talk about the most important part of any holiday and something you've come to rely on. That's me. Airport dad.
He is an
Get
airport dad.
One.
I've made some funny reels about Matt being such a psycho when we travel. Like he actually has travel anxiety, but he masks it as being an airport dad.
Also known as.
It is actually really handy because you're so diligent with the packing.
She's so grateful for my anxiety.
No, I am. No, but it has its benefits. Like he won't go away without his little luggage scale. So we've got this great one again on Amazon, and it's pretty small, so you can take it with you. So when you're coming home,
weighs 0.2 kilograms.
You can you can also weigh your luggage to make sure everything is the right amount.
Well, as a family traveling,
5.
like if you've got 20 kilograms luggage allowance or something, it's quite stressful.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be, because they just rip you off, don't they? And it's principal as well half the time, but it's so expensive. And they're like, yeah, it's £80 extra in whatever because you've gone over. And it's just disgusting, really. They can get away with it, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So to be able to weigh your things before it, because you see those poor families that are at the airport and they're trying to shift stuff around.
Oh, I know.
And like often you haven't really got the space for certain things to go in other cases. So it's nice just to do that all before you go.
Yeah.
We often take food with us, so like our luggage is lighter coming back anyway.
Yeah, or like when they're young and you're going with loads of nappies and weaning food.
Yeah.
And then you're coming back without it. That was always okay, wasn't it?
And then your makeup obviously weighs a lot less coming back because obviously you've used it all. It's really heavy.
Well, they try to charge you for luggage. You go, I've actually just lost some weight.
Yeah.
Like, is that okay?
Yeah,
Does that count?
Yeah, on the all-inclusive.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, airport dad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So what are your main airport
goals?
No, what are your main airport dad tips? Because I don't know if you're going into the detail of it, but I think you should talk about your packing system for the boys because it's pretty OTT.
Well, talking about weight on luggage, one way to save on weight and not take too many clothes is to pre-plan what the boys are going to wear. I mean, obviously Fraser's now doing his own stuff, but as they get older, it gets easier. But for the younger ones and for yourself, you do it.
Yeah,
for yourself.
I do it. Yeah.
Going away for a week, pack, I don't know, 8 outfits and then a few extras.
Yeah.
Obviously, the younger they are, the more extras you need.
Yeah.
But I will, lay out some outfits, take a photo of 7 outfits.
Yeah.
So when you're there, you know what you've worked out, what's going with what.
Yeah.
It's pretty OCD.
No, I take photos of what I'm going to wear as well.
But then you think before, because we didn't always do that. We just took a pile of clothes and like we still come home with clean clothes. But you'd come home with so much. You often come home from a holiday with a whole case of clean clothes, don't you? Like between you all. And this is just one way of avoiding it and needing much luggage.
Like less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but sometimes on holiday, I'm like, what are we wearing tonight, Matt? And he's like,
going
tonight
through
we're
my
wearing
photos.
the black T-shirts with the whatever. And I'm like, okay, I'll wear a black dress. I coordinate.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit extra and I don't blame people for not doing it. And it's probably quite nice to be sporadic, but I don't know what that feels like.
Yeah. And because we often will take photos or filming, I don't know, it's nice to...
Matchy.
Yeah.
No, we don't match anymore.
No.
We used to do it with the kids. Obviously, it gets to a point where they won't appreciate it. Yeah. But whereas there's always there's a link somewhere. Yeah, like you said, everyone's got a pair of black shorts on or...
Yeah. Yeah.
Giving away all my secrets here. Trying to think what else to do as an airport dad.
Also, he makes a beeline for the free water because water in the airport is ridiculous how expensive it is.
Well, I don't want to give away my Moan.
Oh, is that your Moan?
No.
Oh, okay. Because
No, it is expensive, right? It's disgusting as well. And again, that is a moan about airports and everything that's going on. It's like they've just got you, haven't they? From obviously it was a security thing, and now it's just a massive con.
Yeah.
And then you're paying 2 bottles of water for £8, and it's like
yeah. So we always just bring our empty ones, don't we?
Yeah.
And then.
Which is what a lot of people do. Like, it's just like more for you if you pay that sort of money. I know you're in holiday mode and whatever, and like.
Well, no, the thing is, I just don't think we can get away from the kids are so excited in the airport. They want to choose like a chocolate bar. WH Smith's. Yeah. But then Matt will always say, "Did you know this costs whatever in the co-op?" It's actually 69p in the co-op, whereas now I'm paying whatever for it. I'm like ruining the vibe. Like,
Sorry.
Let's just like let them.
But at least I'll let everyone hold their own passports.
No.
I'm one of those. I have to hold everyone's passports. Can't be literally as soon as they get scanned, even if yours, you have to hold your own to get through. I'm like,
give it back.
Give it.
Yeah, I don't think that you can relax till you've got them all.
No, it's like this responsibility. I just feel like it's become my job, and then therefore we've never had an issue, have we, where someone's not got a passport, not got a ticket, something's out of date.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've just taken it on. It's like, right, it will not happen on my watch.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you take it on. Yeah. I'm just like, do.
You literally are.
I know.
So when we get on the holidays, most children go off to kids clubs.
Not ours.
Not ours.
Ours just have never loved a kids club.
Well, they did once upon a time.
Well,
I feel like we
maybe
had one.
There's been a few holidays.
Yeah, but then it just takes
where
one
they
bad
have-
experience, doesn't it? And then that's it. I guess it's like anything in life.
Yeah.
One bad experience and like, nope, not going to kids club.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like I think we went to one hotel in Cyprus and they really loved the staff and they wanted to go every day, not all day, but they wanted to go. And it was really nice because we did get a little bit of a break. But then equally, we've been to other resorts where they'll try it once and they'll just hate it and then that'll be it. And that's fine. We never pressure them to, because I partly think, although we need a break, we are here to connect as a family.
Holiday.
Yeah, we are here to play catch.
What a bad start to a day if like you're sat by the pool and your kid had an absolute meltdown going into a kids club. And I get it, like they need to learn that like they're going to be safe and the parents can leave you. But like you've bigged up this holiday and then you've got them there and then I get why parents do it. Do you know what I mean? And some kids just absolutely love it. So like everyone's happy.
Oh yeah.
But I just feel like once they've created once, like they're not gonna change their mindset on it, and then it becomes this traumatic experience for everyone. And the guilt is not worth it for the sake of just sitting down on a sun lounger for 2 hours with a cocktail.
That's stressed.
Yeah, or maybe it is worth it.
No,
we've never been pushy with stuff like that, have we?
Yeah, no.
And our kids view holidays differently, I think, because of it. I think.
And now they're older. Obviously, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
And now we can choose resorts where there's a football pitch and then they do desperately want to go off and play football.
Oh, they love making holiday friends, don't they? Like, they've never been shy of that.
Yeah. So you do get the breaks like in the future, but I don't think anything can prepare you for that first family holiday that you go away on and you quickly realize this is not a holiday.
No.
Like this is not what we're used to and it's really hard work. I'm up and down every 5 seconds. I'm in the pool. I don't actually want to swim, but I have to swim because they can't swim.
Yeah.
And it's just really full on. I remember once when the kids were really little, I think Fraser was 3, Caleb was 1. We went to Egypt and the whole resort, it was amazing. But it was all made of marble and glass and the kids were wet and they were running. You know, they were wet from the pool. Then they were running on all this marble and glass. And I just felt like this is so dangerous. All of it is so dangerous.
Yeah.
So I found that holiday quite stressful. But then it was still really nice. And they were at the age where they were napping.
The video made it look nice.
Yeah, no, they were at the age where they still had a nap.
Yeah.
And actually, when we had our third baby, we said, oh my gosh, should we go on holiday when he's 3 or 4 months old, because we knew that was going to be easier. He was still sleeping 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
So we booked the holiday for when he was very young.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. But the only thing that I didn't really think about was that I was still like quite postpartum.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel as confident if I wasn't holding him on the beach. Like, I know it's a silly thing to say. But I was like, give me the baby.
But that was also the first holiday, going to the next point, is where we had to deal with jet lag.
Yeah.
Because we had to go long haul because it was like December or something, or January.
To get the weather.
And we'd been there already. It's the Caribbean, wasn't it? But we went back to the same place. But like, obviously we had a baby, like a 3-month-old baby. So like jet lag with the toddlers still not fun, but you can just gradually ease them into it and try and encourage them to sleep at certain times.
Yeah.
With baby, that was just unreal. We were just up at like 2 a.m.
He woke
3
up
a.m.
at 2 a.m. for the day.
And we was going around, we was walking around the resort and everyone's like, I mean, people weren't still out, but do you know what I mean?
No, it was just dark.
Yeah, it was dark. We were just strolling around.
Because that was 7 a.m. in the UK. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, what have we done?
Yeah, but that was how we thought that holidays was a solution as well, to like, you just wanted to get away. And obviously it was really special memories that we create with the kids.
But it is full on, like, it can be.
But as they've got older, like the jet lag thing just does get easier. We kind of plan our trips around it as well if we are going.
Like you can choose, try and choose good times.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but often you do get home in the morning and then you've just got to try and keep them awake all day. But then they're now at an age where we can explain to them, look, got to stay awake. Do you know what I mean? Let's just get through today. And like, they're really good at it now. If we've flown through the night and then they'll still last until 6 or 7 p.m. that night.
Because they're so excited.
Yeah, even coming home though. Do you know what I mean? if they go to school, whatever, do you know what I mean? They tend to sort of understand it a lot more. But you do get a lot of questions about that jet lag and little ones.
Yeah. No, it is hard. But after sort of 3 days, it gets easier.
Yeah.
And you haven't got anywhere to be, you know. I found actually going to Mexico, because of the time difference, we actually loved it. We were up really early at 5 a.m. because that was 10 a.m. here. Is that right? So we're up super early, but then we're all going to bed at like 7 p.m.
Yeah, and even though we went over New Year, didn't we? So like effectively we should have stayed up for New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
But we did the UK New Year, which was 7 p.m. there.
Yeah,
like,
and then we went
enough.
to bed.
Yeah. But like we've been before away over New Year, and we just tried to stay awake, and then we'd learned from our mistakes, and we're like, no, because that literally will kill the jet lag for coming home.
Yeah, there's no point.
No. Which kind of, we were saying about, we went away in January that time. A big topic is taking children out of school. Yeah. Which we've not ever been that guilty of, but we have done the odd day here and there, especially when they were young.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people feel strongly about it, about whether or not you should do it. I'd say the majority thinks that it's not a problem to take the kids out of school for a holiday, because you're effectively taking on a lifetime experience that you won't look back on and be like, oh, you missed whatever at school.
Yeah.
Obviously, from a school's perspective, they see it as a major thing, which is understandable, because if they're trying to teach a class of children and one's not there, and then that person doesn't, do you know what I mean, you can see why kids fall behind. But I still think that the benefits of a holiday far outweigh. And their argument would be, well, no, you can just do it in school holidays. But unfortunately, even for us back then, like, it was a big factor. It was the cost, let alone now.
Yeah.
And if it means you get to give your kid a life experience that you couldn't afford in the school holidays, I think it's something people should probably do.
Yeah. I think it's more of a British thing. Like, my sister could take her kids out of school in Canada and not be fined and not face prosecution and not get in trouble for that. It seems to be fine. Like, let us know what it's like where you're from. Like, I think the US is probably fine, and other countries, but the UK is like really,
it's got so serious here,
really
right?
getting down. There's actually a petition out at the moment. A woman, I think she's from Derby, she put a petition out to say, you know, let parents take their children out of school for 10 days a year without being fined.
Yeah.
And over 110,000 people have signed this petition.
So many people are for it.
Yeah, because what the travel companies do is disgusting. Like, I get it from a business perspective. You could sell that holiday 5 times over, so you're making the price a lot more. So I get that they can do that. But for the average family, like, it's really hard to afford holidays in school holidays.
Yeah. I mean, then you feel for the teachers, because obviously they can't. And obviously, I don't blame them. They've probably got a chip on their shoulder about it as well, and they want to roll it out because it's what they're being told to do. But I've always thought, it's easy for me to say, because it's a silly idea, but why not do some sort of discounted travel for people in industries where they can't take time off of term time? So teachers, do you know what I mean? Give them, I mean, it'd be a great marketing thing for an airline or a travel company to be like, we offer
discounts for
term time rates in the school holidays for teachers.
I wonder if there is anything like that, because, you know, sometimes you get benefits if you work for the NHS, like money off at different places.
Yeah, I doubt it. There should be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but we did take them out, because I think until they're 6 years old, you won't get fined.
Yeah.
So
when we had only one there, didn't we? But I mean, now our oldest is at secondary school, we just don't do it.
Yeah, he's like exams, tests, like he actually could miss quite a lot if he took the time out. But yeah, I think the experience that you have on a family holiday, just reconnecting as a family,
especially
the memories, seeing things.
Yeah, and as time going on, things are getting more expensive. Like, those holidays are becoming more precious because there's that onus on them. Do you know what I mean? That you're probably not having as many.
Yeah.
Which does go on to our next point, which is the cost of holidays. And it's obviously something to factor in now. Is that when we got pregnant, people, especially when we had a third, people were like, oh, like family of 5 going on holiday, and people joke about it, but it is actually a real big thing. And obviously we've now got a kid that's over 12 as well.
Yes, he's an adult. Yeah, classed as an adult.
So you just feel for people, because we're sat here saying, oh, you're giving them a chance of a lifetime holiday for this, the idea of missing a few days of school, when reality is a lot of people can't afford to even do it in term time because it's got so silly, and you like to think that it's going to take a U-turn at some point, but it's not. And people are just looking at all other avenues, and then suddenly, like, it's, even when you can afford to go on these holidays, you go there and you think, God, we paid this much money for this. Like, you then start putting pressure on the holiday.
Be so good. Yeah. But then any change of scenery is really good.
Yeah.
Like, we've done staycations.
The kids don't care.
And they just love a change. Even if we went to, like, go and visit a family member somewhere else and stayed, they would be like over the moon with walls. That.
Oh, let's be honest, like, a good part of the holiday is for us.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, we need a break, but we want to have it with them. No, they could not care less where they are. I know for a fact, for your 40th, we went to the Maldives, which was still our favourite holiday as a family. Like, we all talk about it.
It was amazing, yeah.
But I know that our eldest had, like, he had a trip with a friend, and it was for one night. It was with school, and it was for, like, one night. And he was genuinely more excited about that. I mean, he had been to the Maldives, he didn't know what to expect, than his holiday with his family. And now he's also travelled a lot, so he's really lucky. But for him, it was about, do you know what I mean, being with his friends. So then when we go on holiday, the kids make friends to them. That's the main thing. So it doesn't matter where they are. They're a staycation, wherever.
Oh, yeah. Like, when Caleb was little, he would say, can we go to the holiday where I can swim, but I don't need sun cream? And he's talking about centre parks.
Yeah.
Because it's indoors.
Yeah.
So he was just more bothered about, it takes an hour to get there. I don't need sun cream. It's the ultimate. I've got some tips as well if people are going on a road trip, because we love a road trip, don't we? We've been on some random ones. Like, we went to Birmingham recently, didn't we? Where else have we been?
We've been to Cornwall, Wales.
Which actually took us 8 hours to get to, but it was worth it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But with a road trip, similar with a plane, like, you have to kind of plan for the journey of it.
I think sometimes road trips can be harder, right? Because obviously the plane, you get to the airport, so you've got a bit in the car, but then, like, it's getting broken up, like, you're walking around.
Yeah, you can get up on a plane, walk around, like, whereas, you know, on a road trip, someone is driving, they need to concentrate, you can't mess around too much.
Someone called Matt is driving.
Yeah, you're driving. But we have these, like, over-the-seat storage things in the car, which you can fill up with toys, drinks, food, all of it. So it's in front of them. I also got these amazing lap trays from IKEA. They're really cheap. You can fill them with colouring, and then they have, like, a hard surface where they can sit and draw.
Yeah, our boys love to colour, so they're great, right?
Yeah, and then also those activity sheets, like the travel bingo and things. You can print that out. I also printed out, like, a map of our journey.
Yeah.
And then as we're going, they can, like, work out where we are on the journey and see how far we've actually got.
Nowhere.
Yeah. And then there's a few games that we love to play. I actually think Matt likes to play the first one more than anyone. He says he even plays it when he's on his own.
Oh, I nearly sent you a picture the other day, actually, yeah.
So we play the mini game where you have to look out for minis.
Yeah.
But
quite
you
simple.
Win if you see a yellow mini.
Yeah.
Or a gold mini.
Or a pink mini.
Or a pink mini.
Because they're quite uncommon.
Yeah, it's, like, expanded. So if you see a mini, you just shout mini.
Yeah, which it sounds like a really silly and simple game, but actually there's a lot of minis on the road.
Yeah.
And for some reason it captivates the kids. Like,
they love it. They're looking around.
I mean, get the odd argument, I saw that one first.
Yeah. But then someone's like, yellow mini.
I win.
Like, I win.
Start again.
Yeah, they love that one. And yeah, sometimes we just play that when we're driving around town.
Well, every now and then I WhatsApp, we've got a family group, and I just send a picture of a yellow mini.
Yeah, we're like, we know.
And everyone just rolls their eyes.
Yeah. But then also we love to play the shopping list game in the car. And this actually takes it's like a good half hour. Don't you think?
Yeah.
So you go through the whole alphabet. You say, I went to the shopping list and I bought an apple. And then the next one is B, the next one is C. So you'd be like apple, ball, I don't know, carrot, whatever. But you have to remember the whole lot each time. And then once we've done it with food, then we'll change it to, I went to the toy shop and I bought, and there's got to be a toy. Or then we do animals. That was a really good one.
Yeah.
They had to all be A, B, C, D, like animals. And then sometimes we do boys' names, sometimes we do girls' names. But Jackson,
this is riveting, by the way.
No, but Jackson loves it, and it takes such a long time. So if we're ever like, he's really struggling at the end, we've got half an hour to go. I'm like,
run out.
Shopping list game, and then it takes the whole way.
Yeah, he does get into it, doesn't he?
Brilliant. Yeah, he really loves it. And actually, even the older kids, because it's like a memory game.
But even if they're not playing, they're like they're saying cat.
Yeah.
You know, when they're telling
or
the
they'll
other.
say really funny things like skibidi toilet. Or, you know, and then it's funny when we have to re-say it.
Yeah,
like
they literally make you do it.
Yeah.
Actually, they like it when you come up with funny things, don't you? If someone you know, like Nanny's knickers or something. Yeah.
Yes, quite a good
Won't
one.
say what we actually say.
But that's a really good one as well. And then we have one child that actually really struggles with travel sickness. He's getting better, but he's always, you know, if you're on a windy road, he's going to throw up. So I actually ended up buying like proper sickness bags.
Yeah.
Just online, some random website or Amazon or something. But we've got these paper sickness bags, and I just keep them in the car, and it's really handy. We also have like a little pee-pee thing for boys, don't
bottle.
we?
Yeah.
Always got a potty. Even though they're all older, you just never know if you're going to get hit like traffic.
Yeah.
And also audiobooks was really good. So because of the travel sickness, if he just stares at an iPad, he'll feel really sick. But if you download something like Harry Potter, I don't know, you can be listening to the audiobook, but still looking at the horizon or looking out the window.
Yeah.
And that has actually really helped, hasn't it?
Big time.
Yeah. And then like, a few things that we pack for beach holidays or summer holidays is when they were little, I'd pack tinfoil and sellotape, which sounds really random, but it's complete blackout for a bedroom. So, you know, we'd get to hotels and the blinds or curtains would do like nothing.
You never get full blackout.
So you'd go, you know, particularly let them have a nice nap in the day and it would just be bright and they just wouldn't be sleeping.
Yeah.
So if you tape tinfoil to the
around
windows,
the edges,
around the edges, blacks the room out.
God, yeah.
So that was really good. Or also, when we go to the beach, if you take a fitted sheet,
and
you put all the handbags or shoes in the corners of the fitted sheet, it gives a really nice big area for a baby to sit that is sand free. Yeah, that was such a good hack.
Or adults.
Or adults, put your little towel in. Yeah, that was a really good one.
Game changing.
Yeah, it was a game changing hack. Do you want to tell us?
I think we should share a story, a funny story.
Well,
I wouldn't say it's funny at all, actually.
Yeah, it's not funny.
But about where we've struggled travelling with kids, and we've had our ups and downs with like young ones over the years, haven't we? But then one happened last year, which we laugh about now, but it wasn't fun.
No.
Our trip to New York.
Yeah.
It could have happened anywhere.
On the last day, wasn't it? What was that building called that we went to? It was like
Summit.
Yeah, it was like a well-known.
The Viewpoints. It was the second viewpoint that we did in New York because there's so many you can do.
Yeah.
And this one, the photos just looked amazing because it's all like mirrored floors, ceilings, and mirrored balls, silver balls, wasn't there, everywhere? And it's like this really cool Instagram shot.
But Jackson, well, they were all playing with the silver balls, taking photos. You know, everyone was.
They were about size. They're probably about like, I don't know, 80 centimetres high, like a couple of feet high, weren't they, these balls? They were quite big.
Yeah.
And all the kids were just like kicking them around. Like, and they're meant to be floating, weren't they? They're meant to be like, I think they were helium obviously originally, but obviously the helium had gone. And then what happened, Emily?
Yeah, no, so he was just like laying on top of it. But before our trip, like a few weeks before, he had an accident at school.
Yeah.
And it was just the most horrible phone call. I was out and the school called me. And you think, oh, he's ill or something's happened. But whenever you see the school on your phone, you're like, oh no, like
what's gone wrong?
And she said, oh, Jackson's had an accident in the playground. He's okay, but he has chipped both of his front teeth.
Oh, brilliant.
I was like, what? You think my beautiful baby, and I knew they were adult teeth. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, I'm coming now. And he had this complete freak accident in a playhouse. He fell and smashed like the 2 front teeth on the table in the playhouse. And they actually had cameras where it was. So they watched the footage back to see if anyone had pushed him.
Yeah.
And no one had, but it just freakishly landed on his 2 front teeth and smashed that. But luckily, we went to an emergency dentist. They filled them in, they fixed them. You would never know. But then we went to New York a couple of weeks later, went to this thing. He was leaning on a silver balloon, and then it popped, smashed his face on the floor, and both his front teeth, like the chips were just back. He didn't do any new chips, but bam, they were back.
Well, luckily, so when we got back, we got them checked because we always check him for the nerve because he didn't hit it the first time, and luckily it just chipped away like the composites they'd put on.
Yeah. But it was awful because he was obviously crying. He was so shook up.
Yeah.
And we had to run him out of there, but we had to go down like 5 million different steps to get down. And they're like, you haven't seen this part of the experience. It's like, no,
he's got a mouthful of blood. We need to leave.
Out of here. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he was like beside himself, and he was never really conscious about it the first time it happened. But then this time he was like, I want to get it fixed. I want to get it fixed now. Like, no, we're flying home tomorrow. I know, no, can we go somewhere here? I was like, it's a Sunday. We are in New York.
Yeah, we don't have
America's
a dentist.
healthcare, dental care, is going to cost us thousands for you just to have these little composite things that you're probably going to knock out in a couple of weeks anyway. We're going. We're really sorry, but we're going to have to wait.
Yeah.
He doesn't really look in the mirror anyway, but
no,
it took a little.
But now, whenever we go on holiday, he's like, I hope I don't smash my teeth in.
Yeah, he said the other day, it's been a while, hasn't it? Because he's done it twice, hasn't he? He did it there, like since, and then he did it on a bottle, didn't he?
Yeah, the dentist did say, like, you're going to keep seeing me until
he's
he's
18. But luckily,
18.
it's been about a year now and he hasn't done it.
Yeah.
I think he's learnt to not use them.
Yeah.
Because he's going to have to do it until he's 18 and then he can actually have some proper
like
composite replacements.
Yeah. But yeah,
to be fair, we've done all right in parenting for that to be. That's probably one of the worst things. That's happened.
Yeah, no,
still got a few years left, but see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've got my moan, which you kind of touched upon earlier. So my moan this week, is the cost of WH Smiths at the airport. If you're not from the UK, I've noticed they're popping up in. There was one in Bali. They're in loads of airports. Like they're obviously onto something, but it's just ridiculous.
The profit margin must be amazing.
Yeah, because everyone's in holiday mode. It's like, oh yeah, you can have that, you can have this, you can have a chocolate bar, you can have 2 bottles of water for £7. And it just kills me. I'm just like, it's disgusting. It's like, oh yeah, 2 sweets for £5. It's like, no.
We do just need to maybe stop at a shop en route to the airport.
No, we do. We give them so many snacks, but they just always want a pack of sweets or something, and it's just like, it's disgusting, though. Really, isn't it?
We should say that you can bring your own money.
They've just got you. You bring your own.
Killing
They've
Daddy.
got you, haven't they? That's my first moan. Because you obviously spoilt it a little bit, so I thought I'd better think of another one. And I have got another one that's travel related, and it's people who queue to get on a plane when they've got a designated seat. I just think, like, just get some of your life back. Like, just sit down and chill.
Are you a queuer or are you someone who gets on the plane
No,
first?
but you know when the gate's not even open, so you get given the gate number and then you get there and then there's like everyone sitting around and then they're like queuing to get on the plane for like a designated seat. I'm like, save your legs. Like, I don't know, like, why are you so keen to get on it? I've never got on a plane and there's not been enough space to put your bag up the top. You know, like, it gets a bit tight, sometimes has to be moved along.
Yeah.
But, like, you never actually get told, sorry, sir, you can't have your bag up there. It's like they find the space. Like, so I don't get I know people want to get on and get settled, but if you're going long haul, if you're going on there for like 8 or 9 hours, like, why do you want to be on there for an hour before the flight?
Yeah, no, we're waiters, aren't we?
Yeah,
because we always think.
Especially when the kids were young, we used to literally wait. Because, you know, they let people on with families first. I think, why torture yourself for even longer? Like, let the kids run around. Wait until you have
space.
Yeah, wait until you have. I know you want to get settled, but like, I'm airport dad. Of course I want to get settled.
Yeah.
But I'm happy just to ride it out.
Yeah,
just get on
like,
there, be one of the last ones on.
You just walk on and you just stopped because everyone's putting their things away.
Yeah.
So you can't get through anyway. So you might as well wait to the very last call and you're like, okay, we're coming. And then you can walk straight on.
So if you're one of those people,
to your seat.
We want to hear from you.
Yeah.
What's your reasoning? Because your pet peeve is probably people that don't get on.
Hurry up.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think we have talked a lot about travel. So I think that is enough for this episode.
Let's go and book a holiday.
I really hope you liked some of these tips or
Moans.
Stories, learned something new that you might want to try. But yeah, I would definitely say that the thought is worse than the reality. So just do it because you're going to be happy once you get there. But yeah, as always, comment down below if you're watching us on YouTube, review this podcast, rate it. We would love you to follow us wherever you listen to your podcasts. And thank you so much for listening, not watching. Well, maybe watching. And we'll see you guys in our next episode. Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.